Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Overland 870 podcast. I'm your host, Brad Lowry with Narwhal Adventures. And tonight I have the pleasure of having my good friend Bobby Thurman here from Stories Behind the Stones. Bobby, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Good, man. It's good. It's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk and everything. I'm glad you decided to come on the show and talk about this project you got going. You're getting off the ground and everything. But of course, like I told you in the warm up, we got to ask you the same question I ask everybody when you come online.
So,
what got you into this mess of stuff that we call the overland and car camping, going out, jeeping and exploring, whatever you're doing with it? What got you into this?
kind of born into it in one way. I thought about it, I grabbed a picture. I was thought about it as the opening deal came on, but my dad had a 48 Willys Jeep, and so I grew up around that Jeep as a kid, riding in the Jeep, going doing stuff, and just always had a love for Jeeps. And it was in the family forever. I was in college. He sold it to his friend, so he still got it, and he's restored it. It looks great. So, and before he restored it, actually, we would take it to Colorado when we go elk hunting, and we'd have that thing out there, and we'd drive that thing around, and that thing would go anywhere. And so being in the Jeep out there doing that, I had a 75 CJ5 for a little while. Then I got an 80 CJ7, which I still have. And then just always loved Jeeps. And then now I've got my 21 Gladiator that Scott Langley built.
Oh yeah, that's that you and Max Moore have almost identical Gladiators. Like they're almost identical. And Scott built that one that you have, and Max has got his. And it's you put them side by side, you really can't tell the difference in them unless you know whose is whose. They're pretty close for two different people to build two different rigs that that are nowhere close to each other. They look great. But besides the fact that you like the overland, there's something else about you that a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people in your area do. You're slightly famous with the whole music thing, aren't you?
No.
Okay. You knew I was going to ask. You knew I was going to do about this. So you're a professional musician. You're a drummer, aren't you?
I'm a drummer. 1982 was a big year for me. I was 10 years old, started playing drums, and started snow skiing in Colorado. So my love for Colorado started in 1982, going out there and doing that. But music, starting at that time, I'm still with it. I've got albums, and I've had a great time with music.
You're on Spotify. I mean, I dropped the ball on this because I totally blindsided you with this because we didn't talk about this.
No, we didn't talk about it.
It's just like, I'm not going to even mention we're going to do this, but like Bobby has albums that are on Spotify. I've listened to them. They're very good. They're good. And he's got, you should see him with the hair. You see him with the hair.
He's got real long hair.
Yeah. The drumsticks and everything. Yeah.
What
So Bobby has led a very exciting life. And to say the least, he likes to keep that part of it a little quiet there. But I had to drag that out because that was one of the coolest things when I first met you. And we talk about Rito a lot. It's all we say about it. We should get free Rito shirts or something because we're talking about Rendezvous all the time. But when I met you at Rito, when we were there with Jason and Kate, and Will, Nicole, everybody was there, Nathan, and all of us. That was the first time that all of us got together. And that we went out and did stuff. And I had no idea that you were this just wild musician. Well, I say wild, but you're like this. You're like, Bobby has music on the Apple Music. I mean, you have music on there, and that's awesome. I was super impressed by it. Sorry, I had to blindside you about that.
I'm like a diamond. There's a lot of different facets to me. I have my music world. I have my overlanding world. I have my professional world.
You got a little, but you also, you have started this Stories Behind the Stones. Now you've talked to, excuse me, I got excited. You have talked to me about this several times. I mean, this has been something you've had on the burner for, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah, at least, over a year.
Yeah. And so just go ahead and give us the rundown of what Stories Behind the Stones is and how you got involved in this part of history, because it's amazing. I mean, it really is.
So what a lot of people don't also know about me outside of my area.
It's got a lot of areas.
I got a lot of areas. I own a funeral home. So I'm a fourth generation funeral director and embalmer. Our family's been in the business for over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of grown up around that. And part of, well, an obituary is a story
Mm-hmm.
of that person's life. And at the cemetery, there's a headstone and there's a birth date, there's a death date, and sometimes there's a dash. And that dash represents our life.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that dash, what's the story behind that? You know,
Yeah.
what between those dates, what happened? And so going along, you know, what I do, writing obits, talking about people, doing things like that, that just kind of escalated into here I am jeeping, and I'm out in the middle of the woods somewhere driving down the road and come around the corner and there's a cemetery. And you're like, why is there a cemetery here?
And that, you know, that's something we run
There's
into.
no reason why there'd be one here.
Yeah, like sometimes you know, you'll be there and you'll be driving. I personally have stumbled across several cemeteries, and I'm guilty. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know anything. You know, like you talk about, there's stuff on there. I don't know. There's a lot of information on a headstone that you really don't know about. Most people don't know about.
True. There's a lot of symbols and
Yeah.
things in there that represent things that people just kind of look at and go on, but they don't really know what it means.
Yeah. And I mean, you've ran across, you've been doing this for what? Looking at cemeteries, like if you guys, I mean,
A couple of years. I've located over 100 cemeteries.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you.
We've got that many documented.
Yeah, I gotta brag on Bobby one more time. So like you might have a pretty fleshed out, you know, Gaia file, and you might have a pretty fleshed out, you know, Onyx off-road stuff. But Bobby's trail stuff is like all the stuff that we do, and all the stuff that we don't know is there. Because you find stuff constantly. I mean, you're out every weekend trailing. I mean,
I'm every weekend.
Yeah.
I live in Carroll County, and so Madison County is right below me. I mean, Boxley is 40 minutes from me, you know, so Boxley and Ponca. I'm in like the perfect little area. So for me, I can get off work on Saturday at noon, get here, leave 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I'm out till dark, exploring, driving around. I look at maps all the time and figure out, okay, I've already been this area and what's down here. And sometimes being in the funeral business, when I come across people and they tell me about places, okay, I'm going to go check that out. So that's always been helpful too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, okay, so let's talk about this. So like, tell me some of the oldest stuff that you've ran across, because another guy that's in here, Max Moore, that's in Chavez, Max is out and about all the time. Also, he's always out, you know, all over the place. Sales art, but you have told me numerous times, oh man, I found this over here, and I'm like, well, I mean, where's that? Because I don't even clue where that is. So tell us about a couple of things that you found out while you're doing this, because I know you found some cool stuff. Got you on the spot.
Got me on the spot on that one.
What's the oldest headstone that you found so far?
Oh gosh, I may have to go back and look at some of my pictures, but early 1800s, late 1700s. I think it was late 1700s, not too long ago, that I found.
Yeah.
I can't remember what cemetery it was at. I know I've got a picture of it. In fact, I think Jason might have been with me on that one whenever I saw that. He and I were looking at some stones. I think there was one of them that I think it was Revolutionary War era.
Yeah. And that's crazy, man. We see a lot of the stone wall boundary markers.
Oh yeah.
We see those, and we associate that with there was a homestead here, or this was somebody.
Right.
We don't associate with the fact that, you know, when somebody passed away back then, it was usually they were buried somewhere close by, and usually in a community cemetery right there close, you know. And so those cemeteries are scattered all over the place.
Oh yeah,
everywhere. I mean, you've seen how many of you guesstimation? How many of you run across? I mean, out there?
Well, documented over 100, 105, 106, somewhere along there.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of spookiness. That's a lot of spookiness. I mean, there's got to be one ghost in there somewhere. I mean, there's got to be one floating around someplace in there.
Could be.
I don't know about. I don't know about you guys, but I'm superstitious. I
I'm
don't
not.
want.
I'm not.
I was like, it's okay. It's Tuesday at work. It's no big deal.
It's just-
I don't step on graves. I don't do any of that stuff. I step over graves. I don't do that. I guess that's from me being a kid forever and just keeping it with me. I'm scared of a lot of stuff.
like snakes.
Like snakes. Yes, like snakes. Yes, everybody. I messed up. I messed up horribly a couple weeks ago, and talked about the snakes and everything and how horrified I am of them. And all I saw in the chat was just like, we're throwing snakes on you at Frosty Fenders. Everybody's throwing snakes at you. I'm like, my knuckles are going to be bruised because I'm going to be fighting and I'm not going to be able to. But yeah, it's awesome that you're doing that. I mean, so tell us now, since we know that that's what you're doing with Stories Behind the Stones. We know that's what you're doing is going out and looking at all this. Now tell us how this is transitioning over into what is to become Stories Behind the Stones.
So with me being in the funeral profession, me being into Jeeping, coming across all of these, and I already had a radio show years ago called Memory Moments.
There you go.
And it was telling stories about people in this area, Eureka Springs, and doing that, combining all that together. I kind of thought, what is the story? And with YouTube and Jeeping and all this stuff, I'm seeing what everyone's doing. I thought, I'm kind of into this. And so how can I kind of be in the overlanding and camping and doing this, but tie that into it? So that's where I kind of came up with the idea of the Stories Behind the Stones. And as I'm out finding these places and doing that, document who it is, then go back, try to research everyone and come up with a story, and then go back to that place and tell that story. So that'll be what's coming. And I got lots of different ideas for it, to tell the story with maybe just me sitting here like this, telling the story, or having some actors. I know several people in, acting. There's a movie crew around, and I know some of them, and so I'm going to talk to them about a few things.
I absolutely love the idea. Benji just posted down there. He's like, it's pretty cool. It's an amazing idea, and I've heard, we've talked about this off, before we've been camping together, and I always thought this was a respectful way and a really cool way to tell everybody the story of the Ozarks, because a lot of times like I said, we just see stuff. We travel around and we look at it and we see some cool stuff. We'll see a chimney that's like from my old house.
Yeah.
Or we'll see, an old fence, or we'll see the remains of an old plantation, or whatever we run across. And we don't actually know what those people were dealing with at that point in time.
Right.
And for you to go out and do that, excuse me, and go out and do that, and then to research those people, and then to give their story a little bit of life, and then get it out there for everybody to see it, I find it very interesting. I mean, I think it's probably one of the coolest ideas that I've heard in a long time. I mean, because we're a cliche bunch. We're a cliche bunch. We've got Cody Paxlow jackets on. We're a cliche bunch, and that's the most uncliche thing ever. Is what you're doing. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, I'm going to watch it. I've told you 100,000 times, Bobby, that's amazing. You got to do it. And then, you have access to, which he just popped in the chat too. Tim's in here,
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
He's a good buddy.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you what, if anybody can help you pull this off, it's that guy right there.
It's
that
Tim.
popped there. Yes.
It's
Because I'm going to have him on. I don't know when I'm going to get him on the show, but I'm going to have him on here. But I want him to be like in full garb.
Oh, yeah.
Because Tim does Civil War reenactments.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, he does the hardcore style. And then that's exactly what you're looking at, is stuff that's around that area, coming on up. And I'm sure you're going to run across a couple murders. I mean, you're going to run across, there's going to be some land disputes where somebody got killed, Thank you, Corey. Everybody knows I love snakes.
Yeah. So one of the first ones I'm wanting to do, and been wanting to do for a long time, there's a book called, you just forgot the name of it. But anyway, it's about Ira Gurley. And Dale Ross is the author, and he's a friend of mine. I've talked to him about doing this. And Ira Gurley was this is like the 1930s. And he was, I think, I don't have the book in front of me. I think he was land commissioner or forestry or something like that. And yes, Cherry Grove does have some. Well, I've been to Cherry Grove, and that's a good little hike there too. But he was down in the county. He was going to run for governor against the Secretary of State, who was also going to run for governor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the Capitol building in Little Rock, and some people came out of the elevator. He was going in the elevator, and he was killed by the elevator.
By the elevator. I thought
so back then you didn't have like you didn't push the button. You got in, and there's an operator. That's my sister right there, Angie. And so they would actually hit the buttons for you, and they'd close the doors and do all that. So what happened? No one knows.
I thought for a second. Yeah, go ahead.
So operator pulls him in, goes down to the basement, calls Secretary of State. Secretary of State comes down, calls the coroner, and tells the coroner what happened. The coroner takes the body away. All this stuff happens. It's like fast. He dies on Friday, and his funeral was in Green Forest on Sunday.
That's like, I was just about to say this sounded like season 3 of Yellowstone is what it started out.
Somebody went to the train station.
Like somebody might have pushed this dude down the elevator shaft. I mean, but that's the whole point of this.
And the thing is, there is hardly any paperwork on this, so it's a mystery. How was he killed? The elevator operator was the janitor. The Secretary of State had relieved the elevator operator and told him to go on home.
Mm-hmm.
He brought in the janitor. 2 ladies got off. They claim they never heard anything. Now, if you're getting crushed by an elevator, you're going to scream.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
They said they didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
So all these crazy things. So A Voice for Ira, that's the name of the book, A Voice for Ira. Now, his daughter was 10 years old at the time. His daughter, her name was Helen. And so Ira is buried at Glenwood Cemetery in Green Forest. His daughter Helen grows up, Helen Gurley. She becomes the editor-in-chief for Cosmopolitan Magazine, becomes one of the biggest voices in the 60s and 70s and the 80s for women. And then she married, I think David Brown is his name. He was a producer, movie producer for like Jaws, Cocoon, all these movies. They were married, and they're buried in Carroll County, Cisco Cemetery, just down south of Osage Clay Works, in a cemetery that, I don't know, 40 or 50 feet by 40 or 50 feet, right on the side of the road. You have 2 of the most famous people right there that people drive by all the time and have zero clue.
And that's the cool point of this. That's the cool factor of this. I mean, there's so much history and so much mystery that we have in the Ozark area, in Arkansas, and then, Missouri, Oklahoma, all of it. And then we just forget about it.
Oh yeah.
It passes into oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like when I was, I'm gonna age myself here. It's not like when I was like 13 and you're watching Unsolved Mysteries on, on CBS on Thursday night, and you're like, and this time no one knew what happened. You don't have that anymore. Now, if it doesn't pop up on the internet screen and it's not, a banner sliding across something, most of us don't know about it. And I mean, I'm guilty for that too, but I like history stuff. I mean, I enjoy it. And especially if you're doing it, I'm going to pay attention to that, and be like,
you may be on some of this stuff too.
I might be on maybe somebody talk about my headstone one day. They'd be like, this tiny casket right here. This is a tiny baby casket. But no, that's going to be awesome. So what do you think? And I'm pushing you against here. So what do you think when are you thinking that you're going to start this? I mean, because we've been talking about it and you're generating a lot of interest in this. I mean, when I posted earlier in our little chat group area, people were talking about it, like that's a cool idea, that needs to take flight. I think it needs to take flight before somebody hijacks it. But I mean,
so, I'm hoping in February I'm going to have some stuff on the channel. But I'm going to start off with like storytelling kind of stuff. something more simple. And then that way I can start generate a little bit there to work with actors and kind of come up more of a production type thing later on. That's part
Now
of
you're, yeah. Now I just threw it up on the screen now. So like you're right now it's tentative depending on, because in your line of work, you never know what's gonna happen. And so right now you're tentatively going to be at Frosty Fenders this coming weekend. So Bobby has agreed, if he is available, he is going to be there, and he's going to do some trail rides for us. And I'm sure that he would love to take a couple of you guys out and show you some of these old cemeteries, any of this stuff out there that you may not have seen. Bobby would love to take you out there. Big Michael, everybody wants to get me right here. But Bobby will be doing a trail guide out there for us. He's agreed to come help, and he knows where a lot of cool stuff. He knows where a lot of stuff is. I don't know where it's at now, because I know where gas stations are, McDonald's, liquor stores.
I know where some good burgers are.
Yeah, some good burgers. Speaking of burgers, since you brought that up, so he's like, I get Bobby. What do you put? What, okay, let's just go. I'll go back at this a different direction. So like the first weekend we camped, and you have started. This has kind of turned into a running thing with everybody.
So the first time we camped was Rito 23.
Rito 23 was the first time we camped, and you were at Fort Thurman. So, so Bobby has this big giant camper that he takes with him.
Taj Thurman.
Yeah, it's a Osprey, isn't it?
No, it's a MDC USA.
MDC USA. Anyway, it's like 750 square foot, so it's huge. It's a small apartment building, and so Bobby. Oh, Craig, what's this Fenders thing? It's in your email, Craig. So Bobby's cooking breakfast for us, and we're sitting around there, and he's like, "Hey, you need to try this." And he whips out candied jalapenos. Yep. I know you got a jar of them sitting there next to you. I can already tell, because he has them all the time.
So this segment of the show is brought to you by Ozark Mountain Foods candied jalapenos.
Candied jalapenos.
This is what you need right here. That's right. And
yeah, let's hear about. Okay, so you guys. Bobby's going to drop this bomb on everybody right here.
Big announcement?
Big announcement. So Bobby, I'm going to let you tell us the whole story, Bob. Go for it. It's the best story ever.
I've been getting all you guys hooked on these things, and you and Nathan. I got Nathan hooked on real quick, and Jason. Our whole group. There's like 7 of us.
Yeah, I passed them on to Max and Stephen Moore, and everybody have been giving me all.
One guy stole them from you.
Yeah, the guy worked with me. He stole my stuff from me.
So I got Caleb Baker hooked on these things.
Yeah.
We were camping, and he was cooking, and I'd take him over there and say, "Hey, try this." And so he did. So now he do what?
So they're phenomenal. They're crazy good.
And I think this is the best brand.
Yeah.
I think Ozark Mountain Food, and they have a bunch of other stuff too, but I think this is more of a local.
Yeah.
Got Ozark on it. Look at this backwards, doing this.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I called them the other day, last week, got a hold of their marketing person, Brooke, and we started talking. I started telling her about these stories about all of these candied jalapenos. No, they're not chocolate covered. And so I put them in everything, whether it's steak or eggs or pork chops or tacos. I mean, you can put them in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking, and I told her, I said, we have this big event coming up this coming weekend called Frosty Fenders and Campfire Benders down at Bird and on Mulberry. And she said, well, tell me about it. And so I told her all about this stuff. And she said, over the weekend, I'm going to look at all your stuff. And so I told her about you. I told her about Caleb. I told her about the podcast where you guys were on there talking about, when I chimed in about candied jalapenos, y'all started talking about that. So Ozark Mountain Foods is going to donate at least 1 case of candied jalapenos for the event, possibly 2.
We're going to have a mud wrestling match for these.
Possibly 2 cases. So I will definitely be bringing 1 case of this with me. And maybe 2. So I've got some of you that every time we camp, I always bring you a jar, and so I have you get your free jar, but then we'll have something to give away, a raffle or whatever you want to do with them. Jeremy's like, I'll rest. Yeah, Jeremy's hooked on them too.
Yeah, normally like we'll go out and we go places, and Bobby always shows up. When Bobby shows up, we'll be camping, and he'll come over and be like, "I brought you some candied jalapenos." So I joked with him last night. We were on the phone talking about this. So I joked him a little bit, as he is the very first ambassador. He is the very first ambassador program from Ozark Mountain Foods. So he's gonna have it'll be on the side of his Gladiator. So I mean, if any of you guys have a vinyl cutter, just go ahead and cut a Ozark Mountain Foods sticker so we can put it on the side of Bobby's Gladiator.
I told him, I said, if we go that far with this, I'll put your logo on my Gladiator.
There you go.
Talking about that. So,
but yeah, those have followed us everywhere. I mean, I gave some to Max and Stefan. We did. We were at Whiskey and Waypoints. I made some candied ham with candied jalapenos, some ham and some beans, and I cooked that for them. And it was great. And I mean, everybody likes them. I had a guy at work pickling livers for years. That's great. But
that's my sister. My other cousin Brian, he's getting hungry now.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, look, Dan from the Crayon Brotherhood has a good thing. You need to make a cookbook about these.
Okay, so that right there, I do have an idea of a little cooking show for us one time at the camp. We'll come up with a recipe, and everything needs a candy.
They go great with bourbon. I mean, I know they go great with bourbon.
Those steaks you had at Rito 23.
Oh yeah, the whiskey steaks. Yeah, bourbon glazed steaks. Yeah, we had some candied jalapenos with those. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But yeah, Bobby is the very first ambassador. He has the first ambassador program from Ozark Mountain Foods. So go out when you go to buy him, just mention his name. When you see the excitement on people's face and you buy them at OR Cafe. Yeah. You're like, huh?
You go like, Bobby who?
What? Bobby who? That's what they say about me when I go play. They're like, Brad who? What? Huh?
Unless I'm talking to the law. If I'm talking to the law enforcement, like, we know Brad.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah. But so we've talked about stories behind the stones, and we've talked about a little bit about us going out and camping and everything, and hanging out with the guys, and of course, like, I'm gonna touch base on this real fast because I'm gonna go ahead and plug Frosty Fenders one more time in case there's anybody that's in here that doesn't know what's going on. If you're in here, and this weekend we are doing our Frosty Fenders Campfire Vendors 870 Overland 870 stuff that we're doing. If you don't have a ticket, come on, show up. It's at Birds. Go over to the Facebook page, check it out. Come by, hang out with us. We're doing a giveaway. Ticket lets you get in there. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to be giving away. Oh, I was going to click that up there, but I stopped. But there we go. Dan wants to do something with the tomahawk because he cooks tomahawks all the time.
Tomahawks,
So I'm not going to harp on Frosty Fenders very much. I just make sure all you guys come out and hang out. Bobby's going to be there. We're going to do a little trail ride and stuff. But I said earlier in a group chat, we were talking about it, and I said there's going to be kind of a big announcement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of segue into this, and then Bobby and I will explain to you a little bit of backstory about what was happening, and stuff, and then we'll go from there. Then we'll drop the bomb on everybody. So, So I guess it's been a little while ago. I can't tell you how long it's been since we did this. So Bobby and I were on a podcast together with our friend Jason and our friend Will, and it was called Liars Around the Campfire. It was our first venture into the podcast situation. Well, Bobby is bringing it back. So he has decided that we want to go back and we're going to revisit Liars Around the Campfire. And we had to go on a hiatus about that a little bit because everybody had personal stuff going on. We conflict with schedules. We just couldn't get it to kick off. It was hard getting four guys on at the same time to do this and get everything going. Hey, Justin, welcome. And so I'm going to let Bobby talk about it, and then he's going to give you the premise of what we're going to do with Liars. And this is going to be a what? Like, we're going to do it like like once a month, something like that?
Once a month, may go twice a month, but at least once a month, like we were doing it.
Yeah.
So Liars Around the Campfire for me, I kind of mentioned a while ago in 82, I started snow skiing and going to Colorado. In 92, I started in 92, I started going elk hunting in Colorado. So I've gone out to Colorado, many elk hunts and snow ski trips. And so in Colorado, as far as elk hunting goes, I was counting up the other day, I've spent in a tent around 200 plus nights, around 10,000 feet camping in Colorado. And you hear a lot of stories. And over the years, you kind of, with the same group, you hear the same stories. But sometimes the stories develop a little differently year by year. They may grow a little bit, they stretch a little bit. For long, you're like, I don't even recognize that story. The truth is in there somewhere, but now it's almost a lie. You know, but we all do that because it's fun to, someone trips, you know, oh, they tripped and fell. But if you describe it differently about how they did, it's a much better story. So that being said, we all started together at 23 Rito, and then we went to what we call Mega Camp in November after that. And then we've camped, you know, you and I have been at Horse Camp 3 times or so and done stuff like that. And we've all camped together and done different things. And we all tell these stories and they're hilarious. And so going back to Tim real quick, we were with him on his 100th night camping.
Yeah. That was very impressive of Tim to do that. 100
nights. So that night we're all sitting around the campfire. They're asking me about these stories, and I'm not going to tell you the stories here because not appropriate. There's nothing like bad. It was just more bathroom humor. So anyway, so we're telling you, and we're just laughing and just having a great time. So you take that concept of being around the campfire and talking and having fun with your friends and family. That's what this show is about. Liars Around the Campfire, telling stories, those campfire stories, the things that happened. Like on the first 2 that we did, you know, we had the Ozark Anaconda.
we referenced that a lot on here.
Yeah, we were at Horse Camp, and I mean, I was sitting there, and you're like, guys, there's a snake, and I thought,
it's huge.
Probably a stick, you know. Brad probably can't tell the difference. It's dark, you know, if it's a stick or if it's a snake. And then he's like, no, I'm serious, it's a snake. And Tim just whips up and he's headed over there. I'm on the other side of the fire. And everyone's like around, and I'm trying to jump around to get over there. And y'all had things taken care of by the time I got there. It was a great fight, by the way.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was better than the Tyson. It was better than the Tyson Paul fight. I mean, it was later.
Absolutely.
More people saw it.
That's true. And then the next one we did, you know, Bigfoot and things like that. So, you know, that the whole concept of Liars is telling those big stories, those funny stories, and you know, that's having fun with it, and kind of in some ways just having fun with what we do, make fun of what we do in some ways, you know.
Because we're all, I mean, we're guilty. We're guilty of this. We are 100% guilty. Everybody that is in this chat over here, Justin Williams, everybody is guilty. Everybody here is guilty of embellishing the story a little bit. And, you know, we all do it. I'm guilty of it. I'm probably the worst person about exaggerating something that goes on. I mean, look, I managed to turn, you know, well, I'm not going to say me, Craig, Justin, you know, Mike, a couple more of us, we managed to turn somebody getting their radio turned down at Rito into a global phenomenon of traveling to another country. I mean,
well, you and I got something started at Moore last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got the zipper lube. Yeah, if you guys don't remember the zipper lube, you know, that actually, you know, we laugh about that. We laugh about the whole deal. Yeah, Rev, you would exaggerate, buddy. Come on. But we did Craig, free Canada. Yeah, that's exactly true. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. We're just going to talk about that next week when BJ's on. But we were out there and we did the whole zipper lube thing with Jason, you know, from Experiencing Arkansas. We did that. And that actually got me talking, like Tony from Bats Off Road. You know, I got to meet all those guys, talking to them, you know, running around, and we call us a stir with that deal. I mean, that was just out, you know, running around having fun with that and stuff. But yeah, I do not embellish my height. I am 6'3", Jordan. I am 6'3". Don't you ever forget it. Metric. But we're all guilty of it. And I have sat around the campfire with every single one of you guys. And I know that some of you guys have expanded your stories just a little bit. You know, not Gordon. Gordon has never done that. But the premise of the whole thing is great. I mean, I love it. We had fun with Liars when we were doing it. I'm glad that you are putting forth the effort and you're bringing it back. And we're going to be, you know, we're going to be expanding a little bit. We're going to do it a little bit different, though.
We're going to do it a little bit differently. And it's me and you. And right now, Caleb.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the
announcement. Caleb's going to join us on that.
Yeah. So this is going to be a kind of a deal between me and Bobby. Actually, it's Bobby invited Caleb Baker and myself from Baker Overland. You know, he's invited us over there. So the three of us are going to do this show. So we're lucky. We got a heavy hitter coming on there. You know, everybody loves Caleb. You know, he's a good dude. He's a wonderful storyteller. To me, this is the Rocky. You know, the Rocky fight is Rocky 4, me against Caleb, telling which one tells the weirdest story. So everybody is one to wrestle. Justin, thank you, bro. I have lost 10 millimeter sockets that are taller than me. Thanks, bro. I hope you get 13 inches of snow and you'll get all those Mardi Gras beads lost down there. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a really big change. You know, we did it with 4 people. It was fun. It's a little bit different with 3 people. Our storytelling premise is going to be a little bit different, but we are not the Overland 870 podcast is still going to continue to go. That's going to still be a weekly thing. I'm still going to do that every week. This is just like a Charlie Brown Christmas special that we're going to get to do once or twice a month on here and just have complete fun with it. Yeah. But I hope you guys tune into that.
I mean, Caleb's already like, I got some stories.
I'm going to tell all you guys about the time I got to meet Clint Eastwood. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you this story that Clint Eastwood and I got to ride in a cab together. It was amazing.
Can't wait to hear that.
You can't wait to hear the Clint Eastwood
story.
But no, I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have a good time with it. I mean, I think it's going to be something. I think it's going to be something else. But you're wanting to do like a kind of like a little bit of a giveaway, you know, like when we're telling the stories and you know, what's the premise behind that?
I thought it'd be kind of fun if we get some merchandise, hat, t-shirt, stickers, patches, whatever we do. We had to start out small first and then build up.
It's hard. You're going to offer this? You know, at first.
My thought was at the end of it, one of us tells a story.
Yeah.
But the other 2 do not know anything about the story. We don't know if it's the truth, if it's a lie. We don't know. Mm-hmm. And so you tell a story about Clint Eastwood, and Caleb and I have no clue if you're lying or not. No one does. Well, Gina may.
Yeah.
But in the comments, you'd have to comment true or lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the show's off air, then you would say it was actually a lie. So we would go through and we'd try to find out all the people who commented lies, throw that in a hat, so to speak, get a winner, and then send them some merchandise and things like that, and talk about them the next time on Liars and who won and things like that. If there's some way we can kind of pull that off.
Yeah.
So it's just an idea. It's an idea.
I think it will be great. I think it's going to be a fun thing to do. You know, but I'm kind of hurt. I got to pop this up here. I'm hurt just a little bit. Corey from Big Rock Overland says, I have literally never met anyone famous. Bro, you have met me like 4 times. I'm like, come on.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Justin.
I'm glad everybody's picking on me, dude. Come on.
They don't know me.
Yeah, they don't know. Look, y'all gonna be all upset when I hold up the picture of me and Clint Eastwood. Just like I don't know where I'm at on the picture here. When I hold the picture of me and Clint Eastwood up like this. know, I'll just remember. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to doing that again with you, Bobby.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing that. I mean, I look forward to, and you know, of course, Caleb is a. He's. I mean, I don't know how to do this. It's going to be like trying to talk with James Earl Jones because he's going to be like, "And there's one time when the sun set across the ocean," and you're going to be trying to talk, and he's going to be like, "I just feel horrible."
You and I are going to be like. We'll be so drawn into his story.
What is? Why is everybody? Look, I'm the same height as 90% of y'all in the chat, and everybody's like, like I'm literally the same height. Like, hey, Lisa, how are you doing? I'm literally the same height as everybody here, and you're like, everybody's like, bro, it's smaller than a 10mm socket. You know,
3. I don't know why people give you a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, like Gordon and I have a picture from a wedding, and we are clearly the same height in this picture. I mean, it's
Gordon's tall.
Yeah, Gordon's like, yeah, he's 17 foot tall. Like he's like a stilt guy. Like, yeah, a room full of short people. Jordan Dallas is not taller than me. Yeah, he is actually. But we're going to be, you know, we're going to a lot of places, you know, in the next couple months. You know, we got a lot of stuff that we're doing. I mean, you're going to be there at the Jasper Jeep Jam too, aren't you? Because you're like all over that place all the time.
Plan on being there. I saw Lisa just chimed in.
Yeah, she was in.
I'm going to say something about Lisa. Best thing for Jasper. She is awesome for Jasper. I mean, she does such a great job. Promoting Jasper and getting things. She is a hard worker. She tries to put lives together, and
yes, she has.
I just want to say she does a great job with that. And I plan on being at Jasper Jeep Jam, and maybe
you're gonna bring.
Maybe we'll have a whole bunch more jars of candied jalapenos.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say, you know, I'm excited about going to the Jasper Jeep Jam this year. We're going to be there. We're going to be on Storyteller Row, and we're going to be there with some good folks, and we're going to do a couple live podcasts from there. We're going to have some fun, and I hope everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's watching the video later on, guys, come over, because what I'm going to do, and like this is how we're going to handle this situation over there. I got a couple scheduled interviews that we're going to do. But if you want to be on the podcast, if you want to get on and get your 30 seconds of semi-stardom, and you want to come over and you want to jump on, and we're going to interview some people that are walking around, you know, we're going to be giving away some stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. You need to come over and do it. I know Bobby's going to come by and get on there.
Yeah,
because you'll probably be pretty close to us. I'm sure. I'm sure with Jason and everybody there, you'll be close by.
Yep. We'll all be there.
Yeah, go get your tickets. The VIP tickets are gone. If you didn't get a VIP ticket, you missed out. Yeah, you missed it. You missed out because
I couldn't get them because I'm not going to be able to be down there the whole entire time. So I may only be down there on Saturday. Not sure yet. Got to figure out my schedule. Won't know till then.
Craig, I told you to get a booth for Mission 22 and for you to get over there and do that with Brandon. And Brandon is not even in the chat, and I'm fixing to message him because he's drinking milk somewhere. Brandon from Vengeance Overland, you guys to get over there and give him a hard time too.
But I did know some people are asking about the jalapenos. Well, I'm getting text messages too.
Yeah,
where do you find those? Like where do you get these? Do what?
Yeah. I said we were joking a while ago. We were laughing about Bobby being the first ever ambassador for Ozark. That's true. That is completely true. 100%. Bobby wrangled this whole deal to get this. I mean, because literally, I mean, you couldn't pay somebody the money that he deserves for as many jars of jalapenos as he's given away. I got like 5. Jeremy McGinnis has got a whole bunch. I mean, I gave Max my jar when we were over there. We were camping. One guy at work steal a jar out of my work truck, you know. And I mean, go get them because we put them on everything and they're great. I mean, it's shameless plug.
At Rito 24, I had one for Caleb.
Yeah.
He never came by. I didn't take it down there. I said, hey, I've got an extra jar up here for you. And he's, oh,
I can't believe Baker passed up on a jar or anything.
I think he totally forgot I told him about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. Those are the best. Those are the best thing ever.
Yep. So where you can get them is I get these at Marble, at the country store at Marble. You can get them at OARC Cafe, OARC General Store, or OARC Cafe.
Yeah.
Osage Clay Works. That's kind of in my area. But they're in Arkansas. They're in several states, Missouri. They're expanding to other states like Texas. I talked to the marketing agent for a while. She told me they're going to be trying to double their size and get rather large. So,
but you're talking about like, okay, so like we got, like I don't like jalapenos, but now I'm curious. But listen to this. They're not like jalapenos that you would get like a jar of jalapenos and put on like a sandwich or something like that. They're not super hot, but they're good. I mean, you can eat them like with a fork. I mean,
they're sweet, but then they got a little bit of heat.
Yeah, just a little bit of heat to them, not crazy hot and like that. I mean, it's not. It will start a fist fight. I mean, that happens. I mean, it will start a fist fight. It can happen.
That's true.
Yeah, but I get it. I can't even laugh. I'm just laughing about it too much because that is like we associate and all the whole group of people. Like I talk to all you guys. I talk to everybody all the time, constantly. But there's some stuff like Bobby and I share this. We share certain stuff. Craig and I share certain stuff. We do all this stuff. But it has always been the linchpin. We've always talked about. I'm going to meet Bobby at horse camp, and he's bringing me a jar of jalapenos. Or we're going over here. It's like, hey, does Bobby got any skinny jalapenos? Yeah, he's got some. He's in his Jeep series. He's got some. But they're super great, man. And it's you can eat candy jalapeno. Look, we're the whole candy jalapeno show. You can eat those while you're searching for headstones.
That's right.
You can do that, But guys,
so we have another big announcement.
Oh, let's hear it.
You don't even know this yet.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears in case you haven't seen me in my photo. I am all ears. So
Gina has agreed that you can now have 40s.
Thank you. I knew it was coming. If it doesn't,
I've tried almost 2 years for this for you, man.
Yes, I appreciate it. It's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super happy that she's decided. Now this is now legal and binding because it's on the internet.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet, so she's decided.
First time we were together, we were on I don't know what road. I know what road we were on. I just can't remember the name of anything. But anyway, you were filming all of us. We were going through stuff like that. I was the last one, and went up this little steep section, and I stopped. And you hopped in, and we're going over this other little technical section. I look over at you, and I go, "It's like riding in a Cadillac, isn't it?" And you're like, "This is nice. I might need some 40s." As soon as you got out, you started telling Gene, "I'm getting 40s," and that has been.
I'm glad she's agreed to do that. I mean,
totally agreed.
Yeah,
chime in, but she hasn't chimed in yet.
I'm going to count to 10. There we go. 40s are taller than me. Thank you very much. 40s are taller than me, and I can still get into the Jeep. I have to jump.
You get mine.
Hey, I get in yours. Yeah, I get. Gina's Jeep is taller than mine, and so it's. I have to. Sometimes I fall out of her Jeep sometimes because I slide out my feet. But yeah, since she has agreed and the internet has heard it, and I'm going to count to 10, and if she doesn't answer anything in the chat,
she did.
We go. Oh God, I should have counted now.
Oh, we should have gone a little faster on that countdown. So. Most people don't know, but and some of your stuff I put in there. Brad needs 40s, and that started a little bit. But anyway, that's just been our running joke for.
Yeah, it's been a running joke.
So. Do not remember agreeing to any of this. I caught you when you were least expecting.
Totally agreed to.
She signed the paperwork and everything.
I mean, all I need now is some Rock Trek wheels.
That's what I got on mine.
Yeah, I got to do this because my hands on the wrong side of the world over here. Oh, there he is. There's Baker. He made it for the last 10. Well,
There he is.
welcome, Caleb.
Here's our liar.
Yeah, there's our third member of Liars Around the Campfire right there who has jumped into the chat now. But guys, I can't tell you, you know, when Bobby gets this, Bobby gets Stories Behind the Stones fired up and gets it rolling, it's going to be something that you guys are going to want to watch. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be informative. I mean, it's got all the buttons in there. I mean, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, you know? There you go. It's like, well, a good soundtrack too. Oh, what? Oh, look, here we go. Yeah, everybody's on my side now. I get a lift. I get some new axles, a new lift. You know, Justin said I could have all this. Awesome. Guys, I appreciate you. There, guys, right there.
I've worked hard, man. I've worked hard for this for you.
Yeah, no, I probably, you know, honestly and truly, I probably won't go 40s. You know, simply because I probably could get in and out of my Jeep as already hard as it is. You know, I'm old. So,
I'm older than you.
Shh, Bobby. She said, "Oh, hey, Craig, there we go. You can pay for me some 40s." Oh, thank you, Craig.
Now you're back. You're getting them.
Yeah, back to getting them again. All right, that's awesome. But now when Bobby gets Stories Behind the Stones kicked off and gets all that going on, man, you guys need to tune in for that. And then, like we talked about earlier, as soon as, you know, we get a chance, we're going to sit Baker down. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this. And Bobby's going to bring his baby back to life. We're going to be sitting here doing Liars Around the Campfire. We're going to do that. We're going to try to work a schedule out with that to see when we're going to be able to do it. Yeah, she's going to come upstairs and she's going to swap me with that pan. You can bet it's going to happen. So I need to buy you a set of 40s with 80,000 miles on them. I'll still be 40s. Still be 40s. Be 40s. Still be 40s. We're going to do that. So also, we'll go back real fast into this. So Frosty Fenders and Campfire Benders is coming up this weekend. This is our Overland 870 year kickoff event that we're going to do. So if you guys don't know what that is and what's going on with it, we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be doing some guided trail runs. We got a big potluck dinner that's going to happen Saturday night. And it's kind of just, you know,
I'll bring the candied jalapenos.
Bobby's bringing the candied jalapenos. It's kind of just our way of, you know, getting to know all the members of Overland 870 because we're kind of diverse. You know, Gina and I started out in a Jeep club. And, oh, yeah, Pruitt, yeah, they're going to be there. Caleb's going to be there. Pruitt's going to be there. We started out in a Jeep club. And with some of our friends, you know, Jamie from Stick It Badges, of course, Gordon and Jordan. And we found that it wasn't as inviting to everybody that wasn't driving a Jeep. So we decided that at some point in time, we wanted to get to know everybody, whether you're driving a Toyota, a Subaru, a Dodge, a F-150, a minivan. We don't care. We don't care what you're driving. We don't care. We just want you to get out and enjoy the world, you know, because I always tell people this, God made this wonderful, exciting place for us to go out and check out. And so this is our way of giving back to those people, you know, to come out and hang out with us and get to know us and chill and meet some cool people. Most people are cooler than me. So, I mean, you know, so you get to meet all these cool people in the same place and you get to hang out. And just remember that every one of us put our boots on, you know, one shoe at a time, you know, 1 foot at a time, we put them on there. And we all want to hang out and have a good time. Bobby's going to be there. Caleb Baker's going to be there. Michael Pruitt's going to be there. You know, Corey from Big Rock Overland. Gina's going to be there with me. You know, Dan from the Crayon Brotherhood is going to be there. Craig from Chill Valhalla Overland. You know, Jordan from Mobile Performance Installs is going to be there. That's Bob. That Candied Jalapeno. You missed the deal. Bobby has worked out an ambassadorship with Candied Jalapenos for himself. He has worked out an ambassadorship. He's the very first one, numero uno. So, but there's going to be a lot of cool people that are going to be they're going to be here for Frosty Fenders and Campfire Benders. And then I will tell you this. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this right now. Yeah, Justin's going to be on a boat. I mean, sorry, bro. I tried, but we are going to drop the next event that we're going to have right after Frosty Fenders. So, that's the next one we're doing is Bourbon on the Buffalo, and all the stuff is going to be coming up for that. And this one's going to be Bourbon on the Buffalo is going to be a little bit larger than Frosty Fenders, we hope. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on, and I'm hoping Bobby can make that one. And we're going to do 4 of these, guys, like I talked about. We're going to do 4 this year. We're going to do 1 coming up. And then we're also, which Brandon, again, is not in the chat, but we're going to talk about it. So if you jump over to Phoenix Overland and follow Brandon on his YouTube channel, we're going to do, I believe it's called Heart of a Warrior. That's going to be a veteran special that we're going to do for everybody. So, but I am super stoked about getting to go back to do Liars. Super stoked about that. Thank you, Bobby, for inviting me back to do that. And thank you, Caleb, for jumping on and doing that with us. Next event needs to be on Justin's boat. That, we can probably all go snow skiing in Louisiana. I mean, are they fixing to get a bunch of snow?
They got several inches right now.
Yeah. Justin, are you working right now? Are you on the boat or are you off this week? He probably had to go fix something.
And I also want to say this. My hometown is Eureka Springs. And if anyone ever comes up to this area, feel free to contact me. I'll let you know there's some things to do around here if you've never been here. And there's some really cool places I can get some tours. And you and I were talking about a few things.
Forgot about it. I missed my notepad. Forgot about this. So Bobby's going to tell you. Yeah, let Bobby tell you about this place right here because I didn't know this existed until just like 5 minutes ago.
So if you're in Berryville, there's Saunders Museum. Colonel Saunders, not to be confused with Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
But Saunders, there's a museum, has over 900 guns in it. And these are guns of famous people. Billy the Kid, Jesse and Frank James, there's so many Bell Star, and just on and on and on. There's tons of them.
Uh-huh.
And also at one point there was a huge arrowhead collection there too. But there's also a Sheik's tent. This Colonel Saunders was a sharpshooter, and he won lots of events, and he would collect things all over the world. He met a lot of famous people, and they gave him things. He won. He bet a sheik for his tent, and he won the tent. And so it's in Berryville. So anyway, there's lots of things like that. And if you ever want to come up to this area, I'll give you some places to go, things to do. But just message me on Facebook, and I'll help you out any way I can. I'll just read his. He just did the Bell Star Trail.
Yeah, he made some damn good fried chicken. That's what we were talking about earlier. The 18 herbs and spices. It's not the same guy.
Yep.
But that's awesome, Bobby, and I appreciate it very much. And as always, guys, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out and chit-chatting. When Bobby gets Stories Behind the Stones, gets that up and running, you guys need to jump over there, pay attention to that, hook up to it, hit the like, subscribe, and some follow buttons and all that stuff that you do on the YouTube and the Facebook, Oh, yeah, Jeep Explorer, he's in Berryville a lot. Yeah, Bobby's out all the time, man. You message him on Facebook. He's out doing all kind of cool stuff. But I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight and tuning in. And I do want to say that next week, tune in to talk to BJ Hale straight from Canada. Bring all your metric system, bring all that stuff with you, Canadian bacon jokes, because I'm going to tell you right now, the Canadian guys are going to be in the chat. They've already told me they're all going to be here. So you guys need to be in here so we can have a little fun, little bouncing back and forth Letterkenny style when they get on here next week. So we can talk about heading to Canada. Bobby, thank you for coming on the show, bro. As always, it's super awesome to have you, man. I love it all the time when I get to spend time with you.
Tell Gina thanks for letting me come on the show.
I will when I go downstairs to get my 40s order.
That's right.
Hey, yeah, you guys, look, we will. I'm going to do this because Craig probably wants me to tell you guys this too. what we're going to do is like next week when the Canadian, we'll have subtitles. I'm trying to figure out how to do subtitles because I know that nobody speaks Canadian here. So
They're all hose heads and hosers.
Yeah, hoser, eh?
Yeah, hoser head. The hose head.
Oh, Tim, yeah, Tim, come hang out this weekend with us, bro. Come camp with us. Get
Definitely.
150 nights in the tent.
That's
right. Gina says bye, Bobby.
Bye, Gina. Love ya.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And like I said, jump in next week for the Canadians. And Bobby, once again, thanks for hanging out, bro. I appreciate it. Love you much, man.
Love you, man.
All right.
Good to see you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.